Do you like geckos?
Yeah, we like geckos.
Do you love skinks?
Yeah, we love skinks.
Do you like Sizer?
We love Sizer.
Do. Can't wait to get a mouthful indeed. And with this guide, we will take this humanoid reptilianoid and show that you don't need a family to f a demon.
What?
But before we do, don't forget to help the channel by liking, sharing, subscribing, forceballing the bell thingy, and following me on all the social medias for all your gaming needs. Now with that said, I am Tech and this is my guide to being the best reptile player you can possibly be. Probably. A hybrid of rushdown and zoning.
Yar, me thinks there'd be a pattern for me.
Reptile keeps the opponent guessing with a deadly 50-50 game, made even worse by his not really unique mechanic as other characters have it, and it's only made useful via the right cameos, but I don't have anything else to put down, so it's his unique mechanic, invisibility. So by inputting down up 4, Reptile will cover himself in some acid spew, creating his own acid armor. That's right, Sizer, there's a Pokemon. But instead of increasing defense by 2 stages, this acid armor takes the Gen 1 trope of making Reptile completely invisible for a short period of time. Now it has a long startup and takes a while to get there, alongside the fact that one hit will knock you straight out of it, but for that period of invisibility, the opponent, and sometimes you, will have no clue where you are, or what you're about to do, adding to the mix-up game. Again, normally this is such a risk and takes so long to make you invisible that it wouldn't be worth the effort. But with the right cameo, this will become one of your key tools. Now for key normals, we start with Killer Kick off the 1-1-4. This high mid string is safe on block, which is good, but we're really looking at the ones here. Both are special cancelable, but more importantly, the initial one is plus on block, and the second one keeps things all neutral. Now that initial one is subject to microducks as all highs are, but this string is your only real stagger option without cameo assists. So get used to it. Now standing 2 is another high that's once again special cancelable and neutral on block, but it branches 2 ways. First, following up with 3 will give you the Froggy Knee, Reptile's jump cancelable launcher. Death on block, but launches the opponent for combos, both air and ground based. Great for a quick up block punish to get things rolling, or just to extend combos, the choice is yours. Now following up with a 4 will net you a Tale of 2 Hitties.
I don't get paid enough for this.
This has Reptile go for a low sweep with his tail, unsafe on block and can't be special cancelled, but it's a low option that we can't fully work with right now, but with cameos that could change. His back 2 Devastating Blow is an overhead that can be charged up to 2 stages. Initially it's fairly quick for an overhead option, but death on block. However, the quick charged version has a much longer startup, but alters Reptile's hitbox, not enough to stop a crouching low point blank, but enough to make a little difference. Then the actual strike gives a harder knockdown and more advantage while also being just safe on block. But the full charge version, the big Gator Crater, is stupidly long starting up, but is safe on block, and will pop the opponent up on hit for combos. That's right, this is the beginning part to our 50-50 game. It's not the best overhead option out there, but all 3 versions have their conditioning uses. Next up is the all mid forward 2-1-1 string, Dr. Reckle, as it's sort of your risky, flawless, gappable get off me tool. The first 2 hits are special cancelable and safe on block, with the initial hit having an okay startup with some light gap closing. But the last hit, while not special cancelable, will send the opponent flying on hit to allow for zoning, and is still safe on block as the pushback will give you more than enough space. But like I said, there's a flawless gap there to remove the pushback and also make you completely punishable. Luckily though, that gap is only big enough for a flawless. they won't be able to really armor out of it. Now we're going to go back to the forward 2 starter, as interestingly it also has the same 3 and 4 follow-ups as standing 2 did, making it another decent combo starter and probably better for punishing from up block due to the ways damage scaling works. His standing 3 is safe on block and has a bit of range compared to the ones we Shang mains have seen in previous guides. Plus, it's 2 hits so can be used in potential armor breaks, but mainly it's a get off me tool. Put some distance between you and your opponent, they have to start again. Next up is his away 3-1-3, Slip and Died. This low mid low string is special cancelable throughout. The last hit is death on block, and while the initial 2 hits are safe, they have a big gap to armor through. Still, this is the final piece to your 50-50 puzzle. This is how you open the opponents up. You make the choice of starting with either this or the back 2 to stick your opponent in the blender. Now last but not least, the most key important tool in my opinion for Reptile is his forward 3, an advancing high that branches into 2 strings. The first string is just Dr. Rekkel again, exactly the same follow-ups, but that isn't the string we're talking about. No, we want the 2 follow-up Visceral Claw. This move may be death on block with a big ass gap, but we never use it for pressure. No. This is mainly our setup tool. You see, this is classed as a semi-special cancelable move. Only certain specials can cancel from it. Most importantly, our invisibility. This is how we get the invisible setup. Either from initially landing it and going into visibility, or as one of the ways to get the invisible frames down. Thank you for your patience, it's time for the Jump In Lightning round, and Jump In 1 is pretty much your air to ground option due to the angle and hit advantage. It can also be followed up with 2 for tipping the scales, a simple special cancelable string that, to be honest, you'll rarely use. That is because your Jump In 2, your main air to air and aerial combo initiator, exists with its 3-3 follow-up, Natural Selection. This is completely special cancelable and has a slight ground bounce that you can kinda work with to extend in the corner, but it just has some huge overall uses that we'll talk about during the specials, which is now. So for specials, we start with Forceball, Reptile's iconic projectile debuting all the way back in MK2. This has Reptile send a large ball of acid to the opponent, and has 3 versions, regular, slow, and fast. Each version has varying levels of block safety. The further you are, the safer you are, but will alter the pace and distance of the ball. Regular covers about starting distance and moves at a reasonable pace. Slow barely leaves Reptile's mouth before it reaches its limit, so systematically is just death on block, and fast travels much faster and reaches near full screen before it implodes. Now on hit, they will pop the opponent up for combos, heavily scaled combos, but combos nonetheless. And what's more, you can link one paced ball with one of the other 2 paces to keep the combo going. Now you can't do 2 of the same pace, it will just send them full screen and the combo is over. Likewise, you can't have 3 force balls to extend the combo. That is only possible by enhancing the force ball, which adds some of its own boons. First, as I stated, you get 3 force ball extenders, and that enhanced force ball will not scale like the others do, so you get more damage. But it also extends the duration the balls are out, to the point that even the slow force ball will travel full screen. This can be useful in closing the gap on the opponent, as while you can't use it to block other projectiles like in other fighters, you can still follow the ball and use it to get in and go for more risky plays, as you'll be safe. Force Ball is one of your key specials, as you can also use it when invisible to add more to the mix-up. The opponent won't know what's coming out, and the Force Ball adds a 3rd move to think about. Seriously, it's a great tool. Next up is Acid Spit, this game's take on another classic projectile, now no longer a projectile per se, more of a little stream. Death on block can only fair amounts of damage, but it will have some better uses when we talk about cameos. Now, dash attack has gone by many a name since it debuted in MK3, but it's still that same quick dash behind with a follow-up attack. Death on block, but when enhanced will deliver the full attack unimpeded, keeping it safe. Now, one downside that we can turn into an upside is that the move won't hit airborne opponents, so it can't be used to end specific combos. But this move has its uses. First, it's your safety net if they block the back 3-1-3 string, so long as you have meter. Yes, there is a gap, but it's still better than nothing. Second, it can be used to cover ground with your enhanced slow force ball, as if they block the force ball, it will keep you advantageous. And lastly, this move can be used to kill frames for your invisibility. So at the end of your setup combo, depending on your finish, if you can't get the forward 3-2 off, you can cancel that forward 3 into the dash attack, kill the frames and have enough recovery advantage to keep the pressure on. Our penultimate special is Death Roll, MK1's take on Reptile's classic slide. Death on block, but when enhanced is your armor move, the MK1 equivalent to invincibility. So it makes total sense. Plus, it's a low profile attack, so will travel under most high hitting attacks, and the range is stupid crazy. For the most part, it's going to be your main ender off the forward 2-3 string, as it's the only damage dumper you have. But it's not the strongest. No, that would be Falling Fangs. An interesting aerial teleport, as when close it will teleport behind the opponent while offering to keep your side by holding the away button, but at a greater distance it will just keep your side. But yes, with the way aerial combos work, this ends up being your big damage ender. I mean, if you could land Death Roll off any aerial combo, it would be that. But no, it's this, and it's great. And that's the thing about Reptile, as overall, this is the best Reptile has ever been. From a design point at least. The way he mixes his forms in his attacks is truly amazing, and Death Roll is one of the coolest animations in the game. Fighting wise, he has potential. In MK, 50-50s are the bane of most players' existence. Sub-Zero in MK11 was hated on a day-to-day basis because that 50-50 start is just annoying to deal with, and Reptile can be in the same boat. However, he has some glaring issues. First and foremost, he has no stagger. His best stagger string, the 1-1, is kinda T-Rex stubby at the start, and only keeps the opponent on an even playing field. You try to go for either 50-50 option after the stagger attempt, you're gonna be in for a bad time. Sure, Dr. Rekkel is a decent enough block string, and cameos can make things more in your favour, but you're spending resources to attain what other characters who are way higher in the pecking order can do with a mere thought. And even then, that 50-50 is not as strong on its own merit. It's a very slow overhead to gain a combo from, so the opponent won't really care as much about it, which can be used to your advantage, but it's also risky without that invisibility. So for cameos, while we do have multiple ways to branch Reptile off, I will focus more on the invisibility aspect, but we still need to cover what we can utilize. First, we can add to his mix-up game. Darius with his kick into somersault or just the somersault can add more layers and are hard unblockable, but will cost all his meter. Goro offers an overhead 50-50 to his back 3-1-3 string, as the away assist grabs crouching / stunned opponents only, and his neutral assist can extend your low 3 ender, making both viable combo routes. Kung Lao can offer extra layers to his zoning game with his low buzzsaw, and his teleport can offer a new combo path from his acid spray, albeit the timing is a little tricky. But if you don't want to worry about timing, we can go with Motaro, as his teleport is faster and allows for the same combo path. Plus, the away assist will reflect opposing projectiles back at the opponents. But let's go into the cameos that give him his edge. Everyone here allows Reptile to go into his invisibility one way or another. Jax is capable of setup because with the right timing, ground pound will be near impossible to avoid without using armor, so Reptile can react accordingly, and the backbreaker is a great tool for extending damage. But it's the least guaranteed because the opponent can just crouch block and avoid the pop-up from ground pound. Personally, I think that's absolutely brain dead stupid because you are effectively countering an attack by getting hit by the attack. Yeah, it's really stupid and NetherRealm is stupid for it. Cyrax, however, offers that block stun and damage with the helicopter, and is capable of setting up invisibility, but with a more limited approach. You see, you have to time death roll with the spike of the helicopter. This will sink into the time to get you invisible, and will leave the opponent in a position that the overhead will connect. And you may have to dash in to get the low, but you have advantage to do so. And then we can just talk about using the net in neutral to get invisibility from there. So yeah, not the best or most optimal way, but to be honest, these two are more for Shang Tsung mains, studying every character. The next two are more Reptile specific. Now Sub-Zero's freeze allows the most guaranteed invisibility setup. All you have to do is connect it, and then it's pretty much autopilot from there. But his neutral assist helps with the zoning aspect, as it eats 4 hits of projectile based damage, giving Reptile a strong zoning game plan. But the best cameo for him, in my opinion, is Scorpion. This guy gives Reptile everything: new combo routes, new mix-ups, and a guaranteed invisibility setup, albeit not as simple as Subby's. First of all, his forward assist is an overhead strike that crumples the opponent. This allows for combos and once again gives Reptile that back 3-1-3 string, a 50-50 option. Then there's his neutral assist, which is just devastating, as it has 3 ranges: close, medium, and far, tied to neutral, down, and up assist respectively, and these offer so many options. The far assist adds a lot of combo pathways, standing 3 the low 4 from his 2 and forward 2 strings, and more importantly, the low 3 ender, giving you a true 50-50 danger. His Dr. Reckel ender also gains a pathway, so long as you time the far assist just as the opponent is sent flying. The down assist is our invisibility setup off the forward 3-2. Timing the assist just before the pullback or as you press down to buffer the invisibility, Scorpion will pop the opponent into the air whilst you lather up, allowing enough air time to throw a force ball. Then you can go for the forward 3-2 string or the dash attack setups, keeping you invisible and dealing some fair damage. And to add the icing on the cake, Scorpion can also act as an oh shit button, albeit only off a cancelable string. They block that low 3 you just away assist, and Scorpion pulls you into zoning distance, adding a hit of armor to try and guarantee your safety. Best cameo by far. Now, some final tips I share with you is to get used to the invisibility setups. You can't do them all the time, but they are your key to success. Don't be predictable. You have balls, lows, overheads, hell, even a throw. Not many people use it as technically it's a waste of invisibility time, but you just got a free 10%, which is better than nothing. Get comfortable throwing those force balls. It ain't spamming, it's your only projectile option. You owe the opponent nothing, so at safe distance, let them fly. And most importantly, get that conditioning down. Force the opponent to fear that low, then hit an overhead or a throw. Doesn't have to be the charged overhead. Either way, they'll get enough of them that they'll panic and go for an up block, especially since both startups are slightly similar in structure. Keep that in mind, and you'll show that to catch you, they must see you. And if you want to see more of these guides, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, FORCEBALL, the bell thingy, and follow me on all the social medias. And remember, this is also a community, so if you found any tips and tricks you found yourself, or just want to let us know who your favorite character is, let us know in the comment section below. And finally, tune in next time where once again we will look at another random character. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and remember, it's in our blood.